Earning the designation of class respondent is truly an honor, and I invite Dr. John McCovey, Assistant Professor in the Electrical Engineering and Computer Science Department, to come to the podium to introduce today's class respondent.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, graduating class, friends, and family, thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion. Today, it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce the student respondent, Johnny Keane, a remarkable individual who has not only excelled in the field of computer science, but has left an indelible mark on our community. While Johnny came to my office to ask me to introduce him, I was both honored and elated. So of course, I had to say yes. I've had the pleasure of witnessing Johnny's academic journey firsthand. Having him in data science related courses was an absolute joy. His aptitude for the subject matter was evident, and his passion and measured approach for these topics was truly inspiring. Actually, Johnny recently told me that my approach to teaching how to communicate results and give presentations had really resonated with a subset of my students. So much so that I got my first eponym, McCoveyan, which describes an approach to creating and giving presentations with a main point of targeting the specific audience. And since I'm familiar with the parlance of the youth, I would be remiss not to practice what I preach. Yo, fam. I am full sending this intro for the ultimate tech king in the house today. This graduate didn't just slay through MSOE, they made it their coding kingdom. Algorithms? Bet. Data science and research? Church. He crushed it harder than a Twitter thread full of fire memes. The Zoomer isn't just about the books, he's the captain of the code ship and soccer team. No cap. From making LinkedIn bots that slap, to creating software that makes you say, work. He's been the undisputed pop-off monarch. So, let's yeet some confetti and give it up for the graduate who's about to drop tech wisdom on us just like he did at the Rosie Competition with Rick Astley. I'm sure he's going to spit bars harder than his music artificial intelligence, FR. That means for real. Without further ado, pop off, Keane.
Thank you, Dr. McCovey. I didn't realize you were trying to start a comedy career with this intro. Hello, everyone, families, friends, and the fall graduating class of 2023. My name is Johnny Keane. A couple weeks back, Kip called me into his office, saying he wanted to talk to me, and that was not anything bad. Turns out he's a liar. Asking a computer scientist to give a speech? Now that's something bad. I thought after my freshman seminar classes, I wasn't supposed to talk to humans again. After I got over this fear, and then the urge to ask ChatGPT to write the speech for me, I started thinking back over my years at MSOE. When I think of graduation, I think the common thing to think of is all those big milestones you hit along the way. That first day of school, completing your first set of finals, finishing your senior design project. But as I've spent these past couple weeks thinking over my years at MSOE, I've come to realize that these big moments are not necessarily what this day is all about. I started thinking about this while I was looking through my camera roll from these past 4 years. Of course, there were the big moments, like winning a conference championship with the soccer team my freshman year, or presenting in MSOE's Rosie competition. But as I continued to scroll, I kept on coming across those moments I label as underrated, significantly outnumbering those big moments. Moments like pictures that I had taken with friends when we were hanging out after a hard week at school, or weird selfies I didn't realize they'd taken during an online lecture. All these small moments, all adding a special piece to my story at MSOE. Moments take form in many different ways. They can take form in the people we help along the way, like the friends we tutored when they were struggling in classes, punctuated by the excitement they showed when things finally started to click for them. Or they can take form in the people who helped us when we were down. For me, these were MSOE's athletic trainers, who when I tore my ACL my junior year, were there for me every step of the way during my recovery process. No matter the form, moments do not come out of thin air. They are built by people. And not only are they built by people, they connect us to people. And by having these moments, we are reminded that we are not alone. To hold on to these moments, we place them in mementos we gather through our lives, symbols to remind us of those moments we've forgotten. For me, I can see my moments in things like a collection of lanyards I have from different conferences and competitions I've attended while at MSOE. And while some of these things may seem meaningless, they help us to remember those moments that matter most to us. And while the memories may fade over the years, I will always remember how those moments made me feel. The sting of a brutal defeat, the joy of overcoming a challenge. As Maya Angelou would put it, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Moments, like people, can touch us in many different ways. They remind us of the chapters we've written, the battles we've won and lost. Single stars in a galaxy of memories, but always there, shining through the night, giving us perspective to where we are and where we are going. Moments ground us in reality when the world seems like it's moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Class, I'm sure you each have these little moments and mementos that you've accrued over the past few years, and while they may not be meaningful to others, they tell a story of the person who lived them, telling the story of someone who is distinctly you. But moments, like life, will not always play out how you expect them to. I have today with me a paper cup from my final game playing with MSOE, and a 1-0 loss in the conference championship. And some people may ask, why are you keeping a cup from a game that you lost and effectively ended your collegiate career? And while of course I would have loved for our team to have won that game, I keep this cup because it reminds me of my journey. Those late nights practicing out in the freezing rain, the joy of those last-second goals to win games, the pain of having to watch your friends play while you were injured, or that feeling when you got to join them again after a year of rehab. All these moments summed up in something as simple as a paper cup. In your journey, there are going to be tough moments, and there are going to be great moments. But as I've learned from these past few years, you need to have these tough moments in order to enjoy the great ones. So while this cup may represent one of my final chapters at MSOE, I would not trade moments like these for the world. One of my favorite shows is Ted Lasso, which revolves around the lives of a soccer team. One of the characters, Roy Kent, a retired soccer player, was working as a sportscaster one day, and one of his fellow commentators asked him from the comfort of their studio, "I bet you don't miss the cold, Roy." And instead of agreeing about how he hated those cold, miserable nights on the soccer field, he responded by saying, "No, I miss all of it." And while this response may seem strange at first, I think it gets at what graduation is really about, appreciating all those moments, the good and the bad. Those nights where we felt like everything was going smoothly while studying, and those nights where we had to stay up, working late, and walk home on a cold night with the wind cutting at your face. Those days where we were enjoying activities with friends, and the days we ended up feeling most alone. While we may wish that all these moments were just sunshine and rainbows, these moments mean something to us, the good and the bad, the big and the small. They make us stronger. They shape us. And by being there, through all those moments, we can tell we were really living. In closing, class, you should be very proud of your accomplishment of graduating today. These past few years have been a whirlwind of change where we've gone through a pandemic, the explosion of new AI technologies like ChatGPT, and the explosion of temptations to use things like ChatGPT to do all our homework. You have all endured these challenges and continue to thrive, so you have much to be proud of today. There will be more challenges ahead, but because of these past few years at MSOE, you are prepared to face those challenges head on. So of course you should make sure that you celebrate this big day, showing the culmination of all your years of hard work. Make sure you think back and enjoy those small moments. Let them guide you. Let them comfort you. Let them inspire you. Because you're never too big for those small moments to make a difference. Thank you.